Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. When Argentina and Brazil face off, you expect a battle. The Super Clásico de las Americas is never just a game. This was something else entirely. It wasn't a battle, it was total and utter destruction, 4 goals, for different scorers. And one of the most one-sided performances in the history of this intense rivalry. It was more than just a victory, it was a statement. A historically humiliating defeat suffered on home soil in Buenos Aires. 5-time world champions Brazil were torn to shreds, suffering their worst defeat in the history of World Cup qualifiers. But the most astonishing fact is this: Argentina achieved all of this without their icon, Lionel Messi, who was sidelined due to injury. Many assumed his absence would level the playing field. They were completely wrong. Instead, it ignited a completely different kind of passion. This performance was no fluke. It was a tactical masterclass by manager Lionel Scaloni. Today, we will analyze how Argentina scoring goal after goal left their greatest rivals, and the rest of the world, in absolute shock. This stunning spectacle unfolded on March 25, 2025, at the Estadio Más Monumental. For Argentina, a victory would secure their spot in the 2026 World Cup. For Brazil, it was a matter of salvaging pride and maintaining their position at the top of the standings. Dating back to 1914, this rivalry defines the very essence of football warfare, a century-long battle for South American supremacy. Brazil had already arrived in Buenos Aires battling injuries, missing key players such as Alisson Becker and Gabriel Magalhães. Yet, no one could have anticipated such a catastrophic defeat. From the moment the whistle blew, Argentina took the field with extraordinary intensity, an intensity Brazil simply could not match. So, how did this devastating defeat begin? Almost immediately, just 4 minutes into the match, Argentina struck the first blow, and it was no elegant style masterpiece, it was pure, suffocating pressure. Scaloni's game plan was clear: push forward, apply intense pressure, and deny Brazil any breathing room in their own half. Led by Julian Alvarez, the forward line executed this plan to perfection. The goal came courtesy of a Brazilian defender who lingered on the ball a moment too long, a fatal error. He was instantly swarmed by a crowd of players clad in white and sky blue jerseys. In the absence of reliable defenders like Gabriel Magalhães, Brazil panicked. The ball slipped away from them in the most inopportune spot. It fell to Thiago Almada, who threaded a perfect pass through the chaos of the Brazilian box. And who was there, having timed his run to perfection? The spider Julian Alvarez. He controlled the ball with one touch, and with the second, he rounded the goalkeeper and slotted it into the net. 1-0. That goal encapsulated the entire night. It wasn't merely about Alvarez's killer instinct, a trait he has repeatedly demonstrated for Atletico Madrid, but rather about the team's system. Argentina swiftly pounced on Brazil's attempt to build play from the back, one possession, and scored all within a matter of seconds. Brazil was left stunned. The tone for the match was set. If the first goal was the result of intense pressure, the second was an extraordinary masterpiece crafted in midfield. Just minutes after the opener, in the 12th minute, Argentina struck again, extending their lead to 2-0. This time, the goal was the product of the superb intelligence and control displayed by Argentina's engine room, the midfield spearheaded by Enzo Fernandez. Still reeling from the shock of the first goal, Brazil was unable to cope with Argentina's rapid passing and agile movement. The play had originated deep within their own half. Argentina passed the ball with ease, neutralizing Brazil's panicked and disjointed efforts under pressure. Without Bruno Guimarães in the midfield, the Seleção, the Brazilian squad, appeared completely rudderless. Enzo Fernandez, brimming with the confidence of a world champion, spotted an opening. He surged rapidly through the gap, drawing the Brazilian defenders toward him. The ball moved with lightning speed from Enzo to De Paul, and then out to Nahuel Molina, who was making a run down the right flank. Molina's cross into the center was flawless. But the true magic came from Enzo, who had continued his forward run. After initiating the entire move, he slipped unnoticed into the penalty area. Upon receiving the ball, he struck a powerful first-time shot that nearly tore through the net. 2-0. This goal served as proof that Scaloni's squad, whether with or without Messi, operated like a well-oiled machine. It was a masterclass in tactical acumen, collective teamwork, and the prowess of a midfield capable of controlling the game and delivering decisive blows. For a brief moment, it seemed as though there was still some life left in the Brazilian side. In the 26th minute, a rare error in the Argentine defense handed them a lifeline, indeed. Christian Romero, typically a rock in the backline, lost control of the ball. Wolves striker Mateus Cunha pounced on the mistake, dispossessing him and firing a clinical shot to cut the deficit to 2-1. It was a perfect gift, and for a fleeting moment, you could sense a glimmer of hope for Brazil. Was a comeback possible? No, Argentina's response was cold, calculated, and absolutely resolute. They did not panic, they did not retreat. Instead, they immediately set about executing their game plan. Just over 10 minutes later, in the 37th minute, they restored their 2-goal lead. This third goal was entirely the result of their mental fortitude and the sheer class of one particular player, former Premier League star Alexis Mac Allister. Once again, the midfield proved to be the key. Feeling somewhat emboldened after scoring, Brazil pushed forward in attack, leaving significant space behind them. Argentina capitalized fully on the opening. A quick pass from Enzo Fernandez found Mac Allister, who displayed incredible composure inside the box. As the Brazilian goalkeeper advanced, the Liverpool player with a delicate touch dinked the ball over him and into the net. 3-1. It was this goal that truly shattered Brazil's morale. Not only had they conceded yet another goal, but it also demonstrated just how swiftly Argentina had slammed shut every door to a potential Brazilian comeback. They had weathered Brazil's most intense offensive surge and struck back with redoubled force, unequivocally establishing who held control of the match. By the time the second half began, Brazil looked utterly defeated. Their fighting spirit had vanished, their attacks were desperate, and their defense had completely crumbled. Argentina, on the other hand, still possessed a hunger for victory. They weren't merely playing to win, they were playing to send a much larger message. And ultimately, that message was sealed by a young player bearing a famous surname, Giuliano Simeone, the son of legendary coach and former player Diego Simeone. Giuliano had recently made his debut for Argentina. He entered the pitch as a substitute, bringing with him the same intensity and passion characteristic of the Simeone family, a young man eager to leave his own indelible mark. The fourth goal served as the perfect culmination of a night of relentless pressure. A brilliant move down the left flank resulted in a sharp, low cross into the box. Displaying a true poacher's instinct, Giuliano made a darting run to the near post and buried the ball in the net in the 71st minute. A powerful first-time finish that extended their lead to 4-1. It was his first goal for his country, a historic moment in a historic match. His celebration spoke volumes. It was the final nail in Brazil's coffin, transforming what could have been a hard-fought contest into a thoroughly humiliating defeat for the Brazilians. For goals, for different scorers, it was living proof of the incredible depth of the Argentine squad. This was not a team driven by a single individual. It was a collective force that inflicted upon Brazil their worst ever defeat in the history of World Cup qualifying campaigns. The 4-1 scoreline is impressive in its own right, but it fails to fully capture just how completely Argentina dominated the match. It was the result of a meticulously executed strategy from top to bottom, with every player performing their role to perfection, from Julian Alvarez's intense pressing to the superb midfield control exerted by Enzo Fernandez and Alexis Mac Allister, and finally, Giuliano Simeone's cherry on top. It was a magnificent performance by the entire team. For Argentina, qualification for the 2026 World Cup is now all but assured, yet, this victory signifies something far greater. It has proven that the World Cup champions' hunger for success remains undiminished. Indeed, they may now be even more formidable, having demonstrated that they can thoroughly dismantle their greatest rivals even in the absence of Lionel Messi. For Brazil, this constitutes a massive crisis. This humiliating defeat has cost their coach, Dorival Jr., his job, leaving the team stranded in a precarious position in the qualifying standings. It was a night that laid bare deep-seated systemic issues, problems that no amount of individual brilliance can resolve, marking a truly dark period for one of the world's premier footballing nations. Argentina did not merely win a match, they shifted the balance of power in South American football. What did you think of Argentina's performance? Was this their most impressive victory under Scaloni? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoy football analysis that goes deeper than just highlights, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an analysis. Thanks for watching.